Hello, everybody. It's Ken Davenport. Welcome to another episode of the Producer's Perspective Live, the hoodie edition. Yes, I'm back in the cap. I'm in a hoodie. I'm feeling very cool, and that's because I wanted to look cool because we have a very cool guest tonight, Anthony Two-Touch Veneziale. I'm getting pretty good at that, aren't I? Veneziale. I could just say that all day long. He is the creator of Freestyle Love Supreme and the academy that's associated with it. They were on Broadway this year. How many of you saw it? Anyone see FLS this year? Throw it in the comments if you saw it, if you were lucky enough to see this. This has got to be one of the most joyous evenings I have had in the theater in such a long time. I'm a huge fan of improv, and this is modern improv. It's improv, like classic improv structure. He'll talk about it. He teaches it. He's a master of it. Classic improv structure, but using hip hop, freestyle, right? It's amazing. Obviously, the cornerstone of In the Heights, he was involved with the creation of that show. Obviously, good friends with Lin-Manuel, which led to Hamilton, all that stuff. He's here tonight. He's going to take us through where he is, what he's up to right now. He's probably someplace very cool. He is one of the coolest people I know, so I have a feeling he's like hunkered down in some basement, like freestyling with all these people through all this. And anyway, I'm sure he's someplace really hip. Anyway, we'll find out where he is. We'll find out what he's doing in just a few moments. Don't forget why we're here. We're here to draw some attention to the Actors Fund, an incredible organization that's doing incredible work right now. So I saw that little ticker. We're almost at $1,000. I think we're almost at $1,000. Someone put us over the edge tonight. Someone just push us over. Get us over the $1,000 threshold, please. If you do, if we get over $1,000, we're going to check this. I will beatbox a little. I'm going to ask him, don't tell him, I'm going to ask him to do a little freestyle for us. And I think he's going to need a little help. And I can't say Veneziale, so I probably can beatbox as well. Actually, he's going to teach us all how to do it, not just me. Don't forget also why we're here, to stay safe, stay healthy, and stay home. We are getting to it now. We're starting to listen. Our governor here in New York is saying we are starting to flatten this curve, and we've done such a great job. He's very proud of us, but we are not through it. So stay the F home so we can actually get back to what we love, creating theater, going to theater. We want to do it. I know we all want to do it much sooner than they're telling us. So let's just stay home so we can get back to it. A couple of news announcements. Don't forget this Sunday, very special episode of the Producer's Perspective Live. It's Easter Sunday. Happy Good Friday to all of you celebrating today. It is Easter Sunday this Sunday. I'm reuniting the 2011 cast of Godspell, the first show I ever was a lead producer on. Look at all the names that are now doing this. We almost have every single person. Chris Gattelli, choreographer, George Salazar, Michael in the Bathroom himself, Hunter Parrish, Anna Maria. It's incredible. They're all going to be here. We're going to have a lot of fun talking about Godspell memories. I know this company is very near and dear to my heart, and so is that show. So we're going to talk about that. Also, next Thursday, I'm doing how theater makers can make the most of their quarantine. This webinar, free webinar next week. Just all the knowledge I've been learning from all the people that I talk to about how you can make the most of all this downtime and actually end up ahead of where you were when you started. So we're going to do that. Link in the comments. Go register for that. It's free. We're just going to be me. I've got a PowerPoint presentation, so it's fancy. So go sign up for that. Okay, it's time to bring on the man of the half hour. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Anthony Two-Touch Veneziale. There he is. Oh, look, he's got a episode. Oh, see, I knew it. I was like, should I put a shirt on? I bet I'm going to go hoodie and hat because look at this.
Can you go hard in a Titleist hat? You go hard in that Titleist hat.
In a golf hat. Well, you, like I said, tell me where you are, because I feel like you're probably in like with all these hip hop artists all around you, like doing like your thing. What have you been up to?
Yes. So I've been hanging out in Scottsdale, Arizona, because I got stuck. Yeah. So
you're in a retirement community.
I'm totally in a retirement community, which has some of the dopest beats around. I rented an RV for my kids when we were going to have spring break, and all these things kind of happened like as this was going on, as we were supposed to take our trip. It was gosh, I want to say like March 18th or 19th. And we're like, let's keep the trip. Let's keep the van. Things are still open. Like, let's go on the trip. So we went on the trip, and then everything just continued to get more and more locked down. And then we were like, well, we kind of just have to find a place to rent and put this RV in the thing and just mothball the whole idea as we kind of get the okay to come back and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, been locked.
Sheltering in Scotland.
Yeah, that's right.
What have you been doing? What, like, tell us about your kids.
Yes, I have two amazing daughters, brilliant, very powerful, strong individuals, 9 years old and 6 years old.
Wow. And so you're in a house, you're all together.
Yes, and we had been sort of caravanning with another family, so we'd been kind of locked already in shelter with them. They're neighbors of ours, and our kids were kind of like interacting with each other because March 13th is when we were told in San Francisco to kind of like shelter in place, and we're like, well, let's have one other family that we know we can kind of rely on, and so we have been trapped on the road with another family for like 3 weeks. It's been quite a thing. It's been quite.
By the way, this is like a classic story structure. So we've all heard like one of the classic stories is a stranger comes to town and everything changes. I feel like two-touch landing in Scotland.
Right. It's been raining here nonstop. No.
It's 110 in the shade right now.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
That's incredible. So what leads me to my next question. So you're in a place where is probably not for you the most creatively inspiring place to be. Plus you are sheltered in place and dealing with your very powerful daughters. How are you still connected to your work? How are you still creating? How are you still doing your thing?
Yeah, I like most other performers who, try to find a stage wherever there's a stage. We've turned to this sort of like Zoom platform or these virtual platforms. Gosh, I probably have done like 6 or 7 virtual performances already. Benefits and things for senior living facilities. This thing called Seniorly, which was super fun.
Down there?
It's a virtual thing. Yeah, it's a virtual thing. So it's something that gets piped into a lot of senior assisted living facilities. It's called Seniorly. And my dear friend, Ashley Rodbro, her sister runs it, and Ashley does all the sort of back end stuff on it. Ashley, you may or may not know, she's the company manager for Hamilton in San Francisco. So she and I go back, and I'm a big fan of hers. And she was like, hey, my sister's doing this thing. I was like, yeah, whatever you need me to do. And that's a lovely thing, I think, that we as performers get to do, which is like, oh, is there something that like, there's something that I can do with this really lame skill set in this particular time. It feels like, I guess it's not lame. Okay, let me re-say that. This thing that feels like it can't necessarily save lives in the same way as a lot of our frontline workers can, but can potentially be a balm or a salve for people who are feeling disconnected, people who are feeling mental anxiety or feeling a lot of like mental health effects due to this. I do think that the things that we do as performers can really, really be very important around that kind of stuff. So trying to just find some small ways to give back, to be of service during whatever feels like this very, very difficult, turbulent moment in the history of our lives. And so I have 2 different companies. I have something called Speechless, and I have the Freestyle Up Supreme Academy. And for both of those, we've been really mobilizing our virtual offerings so that we can continue to support our communities. Like, that's it. And that, to me, that's theater in a nutshell. Theater in a nutshell is about creating community and then having that community, after going through some sort of a theatrical experience or a cathartic experience, feel connected to one another. So that's exactly what we keep trying to do with both Speechless and with Freestyle of Supreme Academy.
And how have people been taking to your performances online? Have you ever done that before this, or is this like, was your first one this past couple of weeks like the first time you've ever done it?
It kind of depends. It kind of like it falls into a couple different categories, right? Which is these sort of live streamed things, and then things that feel like they're live streamed. Because let's be honest, there are some pre-produced, put together with a little bit more polish, and then put out into the world, even if it's like a couple hours. And that's a slightly different thing than what it is we're doing right now. This kind of like, this is happening. And if my Wi-Fi connection goes down, it's done. We're over.
Please don't, because I can't keep an audience for 30 minutes. I need you.
Yeah, totally. But you know, there's this concept of, yes, I've done a lot of live stream things, whether it's been for various conferences or talks, or I've done a lot of training where my company Speechless, we work with Google, and we're one of their vendors that helps people get ready to give presentations. So anytime someone kind of like gives a talk or is about to go on stage and represent Google, they generally go through Speechless training, and that's people all over the world. So we do a lot of video conferencing, one-to-one and sometimes one-to-many, about how you can up your engagement and be more of yourself, either in front of the camera or an audience.
So I love this, and we can all learn from this, whether, again, Google people are not in the performing arts, but they have to perform at some point. Everyone does, whether you're in front of 1,500 people like you are when you do a Broadway gig, or whether you're in front of a boardroom, or you have to give a speech at a wedding or whatever it is. What is like the number one tip you would give people to be more themselves, or an exercise or something you would teach folks that we can learn from?
Yeah, it's something that I think most actors and performers know well, which is to have a little bit of a warm-up routine before you do the thing. So let's say I'm about to do this, right? Before we got on, I was doing like a shakeout and then warming my face up, and then doing like some even for this. Yeah, even for this. Anytime I'm about to do a thing, I want to get my brain to its most fertile and fecund potential. And so for most human beings, that's through a bit of what is called, you know, repetitive behavior leading to neural networks that are really positive for you. So for example, a baseball player, before they swing their bat, they are like superstitious, twitchy people, right? Like they'll step out, they'll do their batting glove the very exact same way each time, because they're getting their body ready to go to that neural network that says, I'm going to swing my best swing. Same thing happens for performers. Same things happen when you're about to be in front of people. You should go to a part of your brain that says, I'm ready to do this thing. I've done it before, and I'm pretty confident with it.
So you would give people that to come up with whatever this pre-show ritual is, whatever people want to do, and like do it before you go into a party, right? Just to
absolutely. It's a brilliant performative tool, and it can be for anything that you potentially see as a performance. And we as actors know that everything's a performance. You know, that's human. That being a human is honestly is in some way performing, and great actors actually know how to like just strip it down so it's themselves actually doing it, which is an even harder thing to do. But we generally give people some choices of what those warm-ups might look like. And one of them is beatboxing. So we often will get people into a more positive mental frame of mind by letting them be their own hype band. So another thing I was doing before we got on this, I was doing a little beatboxing of like my favorite song that I've been kind of listening to lately, right? So I'm super into LCD Sound System. There's a song called Someone Great, and it's like, and I'm like, oh, I'm ready, cool, let's do this.
That is amazing. I've used a similar thing, I guess, without even knowing it. You know, it's apropos of your hat you're wearing. I gave one of the biggest speeches of my life to about 1,000 people, just me on a stage for about 30 minutes. And I listened to my shot right before it, just getting myself into the thing and like walking up. And it was better. I was better because I just let go and was less tense and felt more myself. It's just about being yourself, right? It's about that thing.
I think so. I think, or being the version of yourself that you want people to engage with, right? And we always shade. We're always sort of having various versions of ourselves. There's lots of versions of ourselves, right? There's lots of different things we're capable of. And so putting your best foot forward for us is the most important part of that equation. And then it's like, okay, so what's the best version of myself? And so for you, Not Throwing Away My Shot was a perfect song to go up there and do that with. And like, if it was a different talk where you're like getting people to meditate, it might be a totally different song.
Yeah. I'll try that next time, see how it works. That's very funny. So look, you, as I've told you and I told everyone, me seeing Freestyle Love Supreme, like I was excited about it going in there. I was like, I love that this is on Broadway right now. It's one of those things that shouldn't be on Broadway, so I love that it's here. And I sat down ready to have a good time, and I was fucking blown away. I have to say that what you do is like the musical version of NASCAR, like for us watching, because like you're watching going like, how are they going to do this? Like he's really just going to put himself up there in front of 1,500 people, Broadway theater goers, who and do this thing and not know what the script is every night. And obviously you've been doing this for decades. You're a master at it, you're a pro. Do you still get nervous when that curtain goes up and like, who knows what I'm going to say? I don't.
I do my pre-show ritual. You know, it's like any actor, right? You get to the theater a certain amount of time before the show starts, and you put on your armor, whatever that might be, to go into battle and kind of show up in your best version of yourself. And for us in Freestyle Supreme, I think the truly glorious part of that particular exercise or steps towards the stage, we do that communally downstairs in like a communal green room before we go up together. So it is really quite a thing to feel like it's not just me going into the gladiator ring. You know, I got Russell Crowe and John Housen going with me. Sorry. Shout outs to Gladiator. You know, you've got like this amazing crew. Like that's the thing. Like I walk on that stage, I'm like, cool. Like I might do all right, but Utkarsh Ambudkar is about to destroy their faces. Anissa Folds is going to start singing and people's mouths will fall agape. Maybe Lynn's there that night. Arthur the Geniuses will sing. You know, like this crew that I'm with, it feels like we are legion, we are many. And so I don't get nervous, but that's me. If you ask Utkarsh or Lynn that question, they have a reptilian response. They're going to their amygdala. They're going much deeper, and they have to be in the bathroom pretty much until the moment that we get out onto the stage.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's well done. They've said it many times, so I don't feel like I'm speaking out of turn. But literally, it's a fight for who gets to go to the bathroom last between the two of them.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you were involved really with helping to usher in this style of music into Broadway. Obviously involved with Lynn and with In the Heights early and Hamilton, and obviously Freestyle Love Supreme. How do you think hip hop is going to influence Broadway to come? Are we going to see a lot more of it, or what is it? Just these show? Is it basically just Lin-Manuel Miranda and whenever you guys come up with something, frankly, and everyone else I can't touch it? Or will we see it be 50% of the musicals on Broadway in the next decade?
I mean, let me shake the magic 8 ball, but I'm pretty sure it's going to say all signs point to yes. You know, it is so a part of the vernacular. It is so a part of what the soundscape is. And, you know, you could have asked that question, you know, around Jesus Christ Superstar. Like,
yeah,
is
exactly
going to be in most rap? Like, yeah, the answer is it's the sound of a generation, and who knows when that sound will change. But rock's still a part of things, and I think everything will continue to mash up, right? It's not like the Hamilton only has rap in it. There's lots of different sounds in that show, right? There's some R&B stuff. There's a Cantor and Ebb thing with the banjo song, Room Where It Happened. Like, I mean, all that stuff is borrowed and blue, but slightly anew with the kind of vernacular that's being used inside of hip hop.
If you have any questions for Two Tips, throw them in here. I certainly have a few more myself, including let's teach everyone here a little how to do a little bit. How I know you taught me a little bit. I've been joking that I will do it, but give everyone how they can learn to beatbox at home right now.
Great.
Well, some questions.
I'm going to take it to the next level because I think a lot of people have heard the boots and cuts things already, but let's quickly do that. So all you need to do is say the word boots and really let it kind of explode forth from your mouth. So Ken, you and I are going to do that together on count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Boots. Good. Boots. Right. And now just focus on the B. Let the O and the O go away so that you have 2 separate sounds, the B and the TS at the end. So here we go. Let's separate that out. It's a B together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. So now you got your bass drum and your hi-hat. And so the You got those. That's all you need for that. And now we're going to go to a different word, which is cuts. Like, oh no, I cuts my finger. So cuts is a soft palate sound. Imagine your mouth is like a cave. It's sort of that middle stalactite in your mouth. That's where the sound is bouncing off of. So cuts, cuts. Here we go. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Cuts. Molto bene. So now we're going to separate the U out as well. Get rid of the U, and we're going to do. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. And now we can put them together. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So let's put them together. So here we go. It's going to go boots and cuts and boots and cuts.
Boots.
Beautiful. Perfect. Great, great. But now the next level, which is what a lot of people don't get to, is floating tone, right? So a lot of people are like, okay, so I got the boots and the cuts, but there's more music inside of music. Absolutely. So we're just going to hold a note. So just hum any kind of note that you want. Maybe, Great. So now we're going to add boom, kung, boots and cuts with that note.
Boom, shit. Boom, cuts, and boom, cuts, and boom, cuts, and boom.
Great.
Oh my God, this is
And
like,
now we're just going to do the pentatonic scale on it. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to sound hard, but it's going to just simply go up 3 and down 3. So it'll sound like this. Booms and cuts and boots 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 and cuts boots and cuts and boots and boots and boots and boots and boots and
cuts and boots and cuts and boots and cuts and boots and cuts and boots and cuts and boots and cuts. I mean, this is
beautiful. Beautiful. And now you have all the tools. You just need to work that muscle, but eventually you'll be able to like do any song that you love, right? It's the same thing. It's just getting that skill set, your floating tone used to over top of the boots and the cuts.
my wife is watching in the next room going, now, I can't, he does know we're sheltered in place. And I have to live with this guy boots and cuts in a pentatonic scale.
And even worse, get your kids to do it with you. That people will be leaving the house soon. No, okay.
Here's a question from Tahara. This is a great one. So we talked, you go into your zone, you go out there. She asks, how do you move past the frustration of a not great performance?
Yeah, it's by doing more performances. Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, the only way, the only way to get better is to just keep doing it. You're going to get frustrating performances. I mean, look, when we were doing Freestyle of Supreme on Broadway, we did 140 shows. So it was 140 new musicals that whole run, right? Every night was a different musical. And I would say at least 3 to 4 each week, I'd be like, we came up short. But luckily enough, I got to do another one thereafter. So that frustration kind of gets amateurized over all the many times that you get to do it.
We talked about this a little bit on my podcast, but when you just gave me that little lesson, gave all of us that little lesson, I mean, it was so top of the palette. I mean, so specific and so like, where did you learn all this stuff? Like, it's not like there were books about it or like online video YouTube tutorials in late 80s, early 90s when you were figuring this shit out.
You know, lucky for me, I am involved with just some of the most brilliant people in the world. Like, and I have to say, I think there's a little bit of like doing this thing helps you to kind of be more creative and open up a lot of floodgates. But Shockwave, aka Chris Sullivan, is a beatboxer, and he came up with the boots and cuts lesson because he was asked by MTV to teach kids how to do it. Right. And so he and I were working on how to do freestyle and teach kids freestyle and teach kids beatboxing. And he was like, I think I have an idea. And he started boots and cuts. So like, and then after a while, I kind of, I like to take a certain academic approach to things. Like the boots for me, I often will, especially because I was in a lot of schools, I would just want to dig deeper into all the things that they were doing. So I was like, B's and P's, those are plosives. You got to lean into the plosives. It's just like what Shakespeare does when a character is really upset. If you hear a soliloquy and someone's upset, there are going to be a lot of B's and P's in that soliloquy. Go ahead and look through all the different Shakespeare monologues. So soliloquies, they're riddled with B's and P's. Bah, triple turn, pour. Like there's a lot of it pouring out. So you use that in like those different things that they already hear at school, and you just start slowly stitching it together. And over many years, you kind of get feedback from people as to what's landing. So again, it's trial and error. It's just keep doing it, keep failing, and then, you know, you'll get the feedback.
Ross Berman asks, what is your favorite Freestyle Love Supreme game? And why? What's the one you like to do the most?
Oh, this is a good one. You know, so there's this question too, which is like, it's me performing in it, or am I just on stage getting to hear others perform it? Because I love it all. But I have to say probably the one that I think is the most cathartic for most audiences, and so therefore I kind of love it the most, is something called Second Chance, where people call out these moments in their history, in their past, that they felt were traumatic or somehow really difficult for them. And then we recreate that moment. And then we do an alternate universe version of it where they kind of got it right. And then we see all the different wonderful things that happen in the world. And there's a lot of applied improv, neuroscience work being done around this, but therapeutic work on this as well. The brain rewires that memory then, and it becomes a more of like instead of like a rut that you maybe have or gotten into around that traumatic memory, it becomes a bit of an uplifting memory after that thing happens. And that, to me, that just blows my mind.
That is incredible. I've read a lot about that. That's absolutely true. I mean, there are psychological tactics, and that's what therapists will do to try to recreate a new movie in your mind about it.
Yeah.
Tell everyone, listen, we're stuck wherever we are, be it Brooklyn or Scottsdale. So what can people do if they want to learn more than just boots and cuts right now from you?
Yeah, thank you. So my other company, Speechless, our goal is to put improv in the hands of everyone, whoever needs it. And we think it's quite an adaptogenic tool. It's pretty useful for a lot of scenarios, like the one we find ourselves in right now. Which is to kind of make the best of whatever situation you find yourself in. On Mondays, I host a free restorative play session, and we can sort of, there's inc.com. So please join us. That happens every Monday around 4 p.m. on the East Coast, 1 p.m. And it's helping people to get a little bit more into their playful mind, connect with others. And then we usually end on a little bit of meditation that kind of helps you get through the week. And then Speechless does other classes throughout the week as well. And then Freestyle Supreme Academy, we're going to start offering our classes online. We are doing a lot of work with our alumni right now. We do something called Indoor Recess. And that's where people get to freestyle, cypher, rap with each other. And we kind of give them these rap challenges, and they get into breakout groups. And there's like 5 or 6 people, and they do like celebrity, where you have to like, one person goes away and doesn't listen. And then when they come back, you rap 4 bars about this celebrity that they have to then guess, and everybody like who's in the room gets to give a little verse about that person. And then after 4 people rap, that person gives a guess, and if they don't get it, then they do another round of rapping. So stuff like that. You know, it's these things to keep the community connected, keep them engaged with one another, because I think that's mostly what we can offer right now as performers, is a platform and a way for people to say, hey, we're not alone, we'll get through this, and we're better together. So and then the final thing, a part of that, which is something called the Freestyle Fridays, we've heard an overwhelming demand from parents. Parents, we got you. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm also a parent, and this has been the craziest time in my life for sure. But on Fridays, we're offering these freestyle classes for teens. It's from 4 to 5:30 Eastern time, and for youth, which is 7 to 11, it's from 4:30 to 5:30. And you'll be making some fun noises and rapping with your kids after they go through these classes. We just did one earlier today. My daughters are both in it as well. It's just a way, I think, for these kids to be able to express themselves in a different, unique, and interesting way that might be able to get some of the stuff that they don't even know is stressful and anxiety-ridden out, which if we believe modern psychology, can be helpful. But who knows during these times? It's crazy.
Well, what do you say? What have you said to your kids about this period of time? I mean, you're such a positive guy, an inspirational guy, and you're passionate about what you do and changing people's minds. I just love that's your favorite game, just rewriting that movie in their mind.
Yeah.
What do you tell your kids about this period of time?
Well, so far what we've done is we do a lot of improv games, and I have them do news reports, and then they kind of let me know what's going on in their emotional world by doing these news reports. So I got like a bunch of videos, and like I'll be like, okay, I'm the cameraman and news is on, and like just tell us whatever's happening in the day or in the world. And for the first, like, I want to say 3 or 4 days, it was a lot about COVID, right? It was a lot about the coronavirus, and they were definitely talking, and they know a ton. Like, I don't know where they heard all these things, but they're pretty well informed. And they were like saying all these interesting things and staying 6 feet back. And then after like 3 or 4 days of talking a lot and us hearing them as well about it, they started moving on to other things that were a little bit more playful. So I think it's not about solving anything for them. It's just hearing them out. It's just saying, please tell us, we want to hear. I want to hear it however you want to do it. I just want to have a dialogue and listen, most importantly. And don't try to solve anything. Just say, that sounds really hard. That is scary. And then move on. I don't, because we don't have any solutions. I don't want to lie to my kids.
It's a great, great answer. My kid's only 2, but I'm going to I just love that you play improv games with your kids. I mean, that is just awesome. Just awesome.
Well, if you ask them, I bet you they'd be like, oh, God damn it, we have to do improv again.
Tomorrow night on the live stream, Two Touches kids tell us how they really love those improv games. Will you take us out with a little freestyle? Will you read a little out the door for us?
Have we gotten any words? Should we get words from people? And people?
Yeah. What do you want? Go ahead. Shout out what you need, and someone will put it in the comments. Yeah,
maybe just get like 3 or 4 words from our amazing humans who are participating or viewing.
So all you folks out there, throw one word into the comments section. One word. Look around wherever you are. Find an object. There's one. Frantic. There's one. I don't know what that word is. Heaving. Allegorical.
Oh, okay, Charlotte. I see you.
Allegorical. Frantic. Hopeful. Bathtub. Which can you see?
Let's do all of them. Yeah, absolutely.
You go.
All right, hold on, but I need a beat from you. So wait, did I hear bathtub?
Bathtub.
Allegorical. Hopeful.
Hopeful.
And what was the other one?
Frantic.
Frantic. Yes. Oh, Ashenza. Oh, Ashenza. Okay, girl. Okay, great. Hopeful, bathtub, allegorical, frantic. Great. So give me a beat, Ken.
Boots and cuts. Boots and cuts. Boots and cuts. Boots and cuts.
Yeah, my kids will not be ignored. I'm feeling more frantic than Harrison Ford, but that's okay. I'm gonna get with them in the bathtub like I was Shirley Chisholm. But anyway, I put the candle to the cave because I am allegorical but no longer a slave. I was made to feel less bashful. Everybody join hands. Let's get hopeful.
Fantastic. I turned my hat and looked worse. I feel like I threw it off, but I love it. Thank you so much for that. Thanks for being here. My best to your whole family. Get the heck out of Scottsdale fast, please.
Yeah, we get home on Easter Sunday, I think. We'll find out.
Good. I look forward to seeing you in person, my friend. Take care.
What a delight, Ken. Thank you so much.
Of course. Two Touch, everybody, an amazing guy, an amazing talent, the beginning of a Broadway revolution. That guy right there, you heard it. That hip hop, it's like Jesus Christ Superstar and rock music started a revolution. In the Heights, Hamilton, Freestyle Love Supreme has started a revolution. We're going to see a lot more of it. That guy is part of the family that started it all, and he's such an inspirational guy. Do make sure you check out Speech is Free. I mean, it's a free class on Monday. Why wouldn't you do this? I probably will not be doing it. No, because I would embarrass myself. But go, check it out. Mary, put that screen up again. Put that screen up again. Put that screen up. There we go. Free classes on Mondays with Two Touch himself. Speechlessinc.com/studio. We're going to throw the link into the live comments as well. Go check it out. Overrun that class with Producers Perspective Live members. Go check it out. What else? Don't forget about the Actors Fund. Oh, throw up the other thing that he's doing, Mary. Throw that, the kids. If you got kids, I mean, I want to be his kid. He plays improv games with his kid. There is the Youth Freestyle Fridays. He's doing all this from on location in Scottsdale, Arizona. Check that out as well. Don't forget about the Actors Fund. Don't forget to stay safe, stay healthy, and stay home, everybody. Don't forget about our Godspell reunion on Sunday. By the way, you should, and listen, we're trying to bring as many people to this as possible. Right now, you should be able to share this with your friends. If you scroll down a little bit and find that on my Facebook page, it's probably like, there's a share, look at that, Mary is so fancy. There's a share button right there. Hit that share button, invite anyone that you know that has been in Godspell, seen Godspell, knows about Godspell. Let's bring out a big crowd for the big crew that I've assembled for you. And lastly, something to make you smile. God dang it, I always forget my own bits. Something to make you smile. Something to make you smile. Of course, we have to go to Andrew Lippa, who was a guest this week, and he dropped his first track from Tiger King the musical, Little Pieces, sung by Kristen Chenoweth. He leaked this to us on his, throw that link up too if you can, Mary, or just look through the replays. Andrew Lippa did the live stream earlier this week. He said this was coming. It came today, Little Pieces, written by him from Tiger King, the musical, dropped today. Go, we've posted it for you, theproducersperspective.com/smile, and you can hear the first track from Tiger King, the musical, exclamation point, a parody. So lawyers, dial it down, dial it down. Go listen to that. It will make you smile. I've listened to it like 17 times already. Go take a class from Anthony Two Touch Veneziale this Monday. And don't forget to join us tomorrow night. Mary, tell everybody who we have tomorrow night on the live stream. Damian Bazzadona. Fascinating conversation. Damian Bazzadona is one of the smartest digital marketers around, never mind in our business, around. He founded TEDx Broadway with me. I've known him since he got his start. He not only markets Broadway, he markets professional sports and all sorts of things. We're going to talk about how we market, coming back to Broadway, what he thinks the audience will look like afterwards, getting back on track. Fascinating, in-depth business conversation. Tomorrow, he's also just a great guy. So, and another Italian, I think, Bazzadona, right? Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow night with Damian. Godspell on Sunday. Don't forget, producersperspective.com, smile, / smile, because we all want to smile before we lay our heads to that pillow tonight. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Boots and cut.